hotline operated by Rain. To continue in English, press 1. Para continuar en español, to reach a hotline staff member in your area, please press 1 now. If you are a member of the U.S. military, please hold while we connect your call to the rape treatment center nearest you. Hotline, will help you?
Yeah, hi. This is my first time calling here. Well, actually, I may have called here before, but it had been probably many years since I have. So, I'm sorry. I forgot, about, the general criteria for calling here. What exactly do they do here? Or, do you just offer phone counseling or resources? Or, yeah, because I don't know. I'm sorry.
So this is a crisis hotline for domestic violence and sexual assault victims.
Okay, so is there a counselor I can speak to?
You can definitely speak to me. Are you looking into therapy, or what is it that you're looking for? Because we do offer. There's actually, you're calling the CPAS hotline, which is the Center for the Pacific Asian Families.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, what I was really just looking for is, a phone crisis hotline for if you're, in some way sexually abused, or if you feel that you were sexually assaulted in some way. Yeah, and I don't know, I'm not sure what you guys do here, so that's why I'm trying to find out.
Yeah, so like I said, we do the crisis hotline, but this is the crisis hotline is way different from the therapy that we provide. So if you are looking, you can definitely, talk to me today if you feel like you would want, the therapy. There's actually Zoom therapy that they are currently doing, if that's something you're interested as well.
Oh, what do they offer at Zoom? I mean, I've heard about that, but I don't know. I've been looking for therapy online. It's been hard to get to an actual counselor, because of, COVID. And I know that, the restrictions are, getting lifted somewhat, but still, I know the virus is still here. So, I mean, it's been kind of hard for me to, get to see a counselor face to face, unfortunately, even though I am vaccinated. But, I don't know it's available but for now, yeah, I guess you can tell me a little bit about what you offer at Zoom, and if you can talk to me for a few minutes about, an issue that I'm experiencing, then that's fine too.
Yes, definitely. So what the Zoom is that they would give you sessions, I believe it's 10 free sessions of therapy that they would give you via Zoom. And it's at no cost to you.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay.
And I actually trying to look up the link because I do have it. Like I said, we can definitely, talk today, and then if you feel like you would want to be signed up for that, we can do that as well.
Yeah, and I guess it would be appropriate to talk for a few minutes because, the issue that I have had on my mind lately, it has felt a little confusing. I don't know if what I went through was a sexual assault or not. So, and maybe you get calls like this here, I don't know. But, in my case, it feels kind of complicated because, well, yeah, it's also kind of a long story. I don't even know how we could begin. But, yeah, maybe I can tell you a little bit about it. And then maybe... okay.
Anything you feel comfortable with me?
Yeah.
I'll share with me.
Okay, sure. Yeah, okay, so, I have 3 kids from 3 different dads, and I feel like the pregnancies happened in a not-so-favorable way, and I have not really known how I can tell that to my children. All the fathers were abusive to me in some way, and, I was somewhat young at the time that I made the decision, to be intimate with them, even though I didn't, neither of us really planned the pregnancies. I was not going to abort my kids because I just don't believe in that sort of thing. I wanted to respect their rights, to their, yeah, you know what I'm saying, to their life. I just, and I know other women would do that, but that just, that's not who I am. I just, that's an abhorrent idea to me. But anyway, even though I technically was an adult at the time, that I had my first baby, for example, I don't think that I was really in my right mind at the time that I chose to be intimate with the father. I felt like in a lot of ways he really took advantage of me. I had just come out of this really incredibly abusive childhood, and I didn't really have any help or any resources from anyone. And, the way that in which he did it, it felt very, like just extremely manipulative and aggressive. And I felt like he was using fear tactics and manipulative tactics in order to get what he wanted from me. And then, when I became pregnant by him, it was without my permission. And again, like I said, I'm not saying I'm regretting my kids. I know it's not their fault and all those things, but, he said that he got me pregnant on purpose without my permission, because he thought that would be a way to keep us together or something. It was weird. But, yeah, I really don't know how I can explain this, except just to say that not that I'm blaming my kids. Again, I want to make that clear. It's just that, in a way, I feel victimized now that I look back on it. Even though, I feel like a lot of people, whether it's like online or just in, my everyday life, I feel like a lot of people are very judgmental towards me about this, and I feel like they often victim blame me as if to say, well, you were, I don't even want to repeat some of the immature things that these people say, but they just, tell me that, I knew what I was doing when I got pregnant by them, and I didn't know what I was doing. I honestly didn't. I was just really traumatized and not able to think clearly, and I think that these men in some way were taking advantage of me for that reason. And anyway, I just see like a lot of victim shaming, like not only, in my physical world, but also just online. And, mainly on YouTube, I don't know if you're on there, like I am, but I mean, I see like a lot of videos there that just really bully and, victim shame and victim blame women in my situation. And, I see videos like get removed for like considerably much less serious reasons, while these, bullyish videos are allowed. And I feel like they ultimately just, do more to encourage men to abuse women in the way that they just re-abuse women, who had gone through the things that I'd gone through. But, and it was even to the point that there was this one man, I don't know if you've heard of him or not. I think his name was Anthony Powell, but he was one of these YouTubers he was like just online, like just bashing women. And then he eventually killed, a young lady named, I think her name was Asia McGowan. And anyway, these are just concerns that I just wanted to share with you. I'm sorry, I'm not sure if I'm making any sense, but yeah, and that's just how I feel. I know that you guys can't really tell me, what my story means to me, but but that's just how I remember it. And others online and everywhere else are telling me what my story should mean and what my truth is. And and that to me is just a form of cowardice and bullying. All I can say to you is that if I were older, or if I were in my right mind, I would not have made the decisions that I had made in my past. And yeah, and that, I just wanted to share that with you. I don't know if my situation, again, I don't know if it meets your criteria or not, but yeah, I just wanted to share that with you.
So definitely any intimacy where there is not 100% consensual, like let's say, like even though you had intimacy individuals, but you, for example, sometimes the male won't use condom.
Right.
So, and even if you, let's say, your agreement was, hey, can you pull out, you're about to come, and they don't do that, that is a violation, that is considered sexual assault. And,
Yes, yeah.
And I know that a lot of society does a lot of victim blaming because they prefer to, it's easier for them to victim blame and actually have those take responsibility of their actions, because what they do is not correct. For example, even now, right, like you see society where it's like, well, maybe she shouldn't be wearing what she's wearing, or maybe she should be taking birth control, and it's like, well, how about the male? What about them?
Yeah.
But definitely, it is true. Like they don't know what you've been through. They weren't there. When what happened between you and the other person. But they're there to point fingers, and they're fast to criticize, right? Because that's easier for people when they feel uncomfortable. They rather just blame the other person and not take any responsibility for their actions. And I think that that's why a lot of people are trying to bring awareness into what consensual is, and you being able to stand up for yourself and share your story. I thank you so much for being brave and calling a hotline and just telling your story. Because more people need to be able to feel comfortable and talk about what happened to them, and so as a society in general can deal with the issue and not try to sweep it under the rug.
Yeah, and I also do thank you so much for allowing me to share my story, because, for a very long time, I've been very confused about what I'd gone through, and I had been, in turn, shaming and blaming myself, really berating myself for, what I'd gone through. And, my kids are older now, and I'm trying to, explain these things to them. Like my son, for a long time, like, he was angry with me because, I had not been able to really be around him or raise him because of how much, looking at him and being around him through no fault of his own reminded me of his father and what he had done to me. And now that, he's mature enough to hear about my story, I'm trying to explain to him that, it wasn't that I was blaming him or saying that it was his fault for what his father did to me, and it wasn't that I was punishing him. I really had to really, clarify that to him. I'm happy that he's here. I'm glad that all of my kids are here. Like I said earlier in the conversation, if that was not the case, I would have aborted them, or, not that it would have given me a right to do that, but, I really wanted to let them know I respect their rights to be here, and I know that it's not their faults, what their fathers put me through, and for a long time I had, like I said, I just didn't know if, what I went through was an assault or not. I'm glad I finally found enough clarity to call here and talk about it, because I know, like, from what you told me, yes, I do agree with you. It was not 100% consensual. I really felt that, in some way, in some aspect of it, I really was being taken advantage of. And, I just am confused about, like, why YouTube and other sites like that, like, why they allow this level of bullying, and victim blaming. It's the very thing that continues to promote, abuse, especially against women. So I don't even understand how it is that sites like that get away with things like this. And I don't know if you're able to tell me much about why, that happens. Yeah.
And it all comes down to accountability. They don't want to take accountability, right? Because it's like, it's, for example, sometimes when they blame children. Like, for example, school, they blame entirely the school system.
Right.
However, parents have a big influence as well, right?
Right.
You know, the first school that these children go to is home. So it's the same thing in regards to when it comes to victims of sexual assault. They prefer to victim blame because it's much easier to victim blame than it is to address the issue, which would be like, let's raise our boys to be respectful of women. Because even men are sexually assaulted as well.
Right.
We have. So just showing our little ones at an early age to be respectful and to be able to, one, have a voice, two, be respectful, and take accountability of our actions, right? Because it's easier to, like, blame the other person,
right?
Because that's like an scapegoat, right?
Yeah.
So, like, I don't even know if you've seen that, like, for example, I don't know if you've ever seen it, the nail polish that women can, like, dip their fingers in their glass. And if it changes colors, that's because it was probably has was like spiked with some type of drug, you know. So it's easier to say, oh, you know, we found a solution. The solution is this nail polish. Now, you know, women should put on this nail polish when they go out to bars or clubs and dip their finger in there, and, you know, if their nail polish changes colors, well, don't drink it. Well, the issue is not nail polish, right? It's not like, oh, well, if you don't put it on. The issue is, and the problem is, why are we even inventing a nail polish, you know?
Yeah.
Why not address the issue? Why not be like, hey, you know, why not go after actually the offenders? Like, you shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't, like, first of all, you shouldn't even put any type of drug or any type of rape drug in someone's drink.
Exactly, yeah. And, you know, I don't understand what it is about, like, the expression, there is no excuse for abuse that people don't understand. I mean, why do you think it, I mean, of course, I know that you probably can't tell me much about the psychology behind, you know, why people go out and victim blame, but, I mean, do you think it just makes them feel better about themselves, or maybe they're possibly even abusers themselves, or, I mean...
It could be, it could be several. Several things. It could be, yes, it could be that maybe that makes them feel better about themselves because maybe they are abusers as well, or sometimes it's like their own trauma or things that they've learned as children, like, well, especially because we're in a patriarchal society, right, where it's like men are the ones who are running everything, and, you know, it's the women that, I think that even though we've come a long way, there's still a lot of things that need to get addressed.
So, you know, it feels good, though, finally, for me to, you know, talk about this and get this all off my chest, because, you know, I think in some cases, like, victims don't even know that they are victims, and that's sometimes the reason, you know, that, like, they don't report, you know, the abuse, and I think that a lot of that has been the case with me, especially, you know, because of all the judgment, all the shame, and all the bullying that happens in society, and, you know, I think that I internalized, you know, people blaming me for my own abuse until I believed it. But, you know, because my instincts were telling me something different, I think that's one of the reasons I called here. I mean, I think I just wanted to kind of validate myself again, and, you know, tell myself, like, it's just these people's ignorance, and, or, you know, like you said, maybe they also could be abusers, and I think I do have a little more clarity after talking with you about this for a little bit. So again, I do thank you for that. I really appreciate it. And as far as the Zoom counseling, Yeah, I was wondering. I guess I can just look at it. It should be on the site, right? Or is there like a tab or that I or?
Yeah, let me. You can also like find us on Instagram. Should be at CPAF. Let me get the. I actually saw an email regarding that today. Well, I'm just bringing it up right now. Okay, so it's actually a Zoom support group for victims of sexual assault. So what we can do is I can give you the email, and then I can also, like I said, through Instagram you can also reach them. So the email is actually contact CONTACT at cpath.info, which is PPAF.info. That's the email. If you do have Instagram, it's just at cpaf.org, CPAF.org.
Oh, okay. All right, thank you. I appreciate you telling me that. I'll definitely look that up. Okay, thank you so much. You've been so helpful. I feel so much better after talking with you now. So, yeah, thank you so much for your support. I really appreciate it.
You're welcome. And if you need anything else, we are here available 24/7, okay?
All right, absolutely. Thank you so much. You have a great rest of the day.
You too.
Okay. All right, bye.